Let's bring in the short circuit 2 version. Now this is the one from the beginning of the second movie, as he busts out of the crate and surprises Ben. He's all covered in the decals. The backpack has been treated with a blue jeans dye. Loving the look of it. Actually, I explain the treatment that those backpacks go through in this video. So again, this is the other kit that was meant to be just a static model. So depending on how the owner of the kit was going to glue it all together, it would have just been in this one pose. I've gone ahead, just like the Saint, and added all the magnets and articulation points. Exactly the same method for both of them. Again, the wrists just come off. They're all articulated at that point, and they rotate. The shoulders also articulate. So pretty much everything that the Saint has, this one has as well. The only difference is this one has a spinal cord consisting of about 22 wires, because this one actually lights up and talks with some vocals. So I'll just bring him in for a bit of a closer look so we can get a closer look at the decals. The other thing is, this one has a totally different finish. Because they're two different movies, if you can kind of see, this one has more of a cold steel look, where this one's more of a shiny stainless steel look. I did that on purpose. Let's see if we can get a good look at the colors. There you go. Exactly the same stainless steel used on both of these models. This one is just clear coated in a matte clear to give that nice cold steel look, which really works for this model. This one's like a freshly made one from the first movie. This one's more of an older model. He's done some upgrades to himself. No, he lived on a farm. He's going to be a little bit more dirtier. So I went for that look, and I'm actually loving the cold steel look of it. Just before this gets shipped out, I might go back in and redo these in a chrome, and then on the next block as well, and on these bits here and here, just to highlight it, give it a little bit more depth. So I did the pupils the same. Also the eyebrows are the same as the Saint. That's all articulated with the magnets, so we can get some pretty cool sort of looks with him. Sad face is quite popular. Those eyes really make it. So we'll just bring that back down into a pose. So basically he's built the same as the Saint, just different. He's got different arms. In part 1 and part 2 he has different arms. So that's there. That was a good little demo that you can't break the hands. A lot of people knock their model and they'll break, as you can see. Pretty much unbreakable. I designed it like that on purpose, again because I do a lot of I like puppetry and stop motion, so posing these things is really important, and occasionally you do bump it and you will break the model if it's not designed properly. So that's why a lot of this is magnetized, especially with the arms as well. You bump these arms and it's just not going to break. Same with the eyebrows. So yeah, the eyebrows are notorious for breaking off. So yeah, you can't break mine, which is fantastic. So this is a short circuit 2 version. We'll turn him on in a sec and we'll see him talk. So underneath, like as I said, there's actually a 9-volt battery in his backpack. I'll just move the toolbox. The toolbox is articulated. That is also on a magnet. So the backpack is utilizing a 9-volt battery, which powers the electronics. So it's a good use for the actual backpack, and it's a bit easier to access the power rather than underneath the base. I know that's probably an issue for some people because they don't like tilting their model over. So this one comes with the power button, and this is the button for the vocals. So you just turn the power on and press the button for the vocals. The vocals will work at any point. That's on a separate battery supply, a chargeable battery, which is to access that. When this gets shipped, it will come with the tracks separated like the Saint. There is your access point for the micro USB cable to charge your sound chip, and also you can change the sound files if you're not happy with what's preloaded. So a good little feature there. Once these tracks are on, and if you do choose to glue them on, there was the issue of you couldn't access your cable anymore, your plug. So this track panel comes off. It's all magnetized. There is a good difference between the two colors. This is bare stainless steel, and this is treated in the matte finish, so you can clearly see the difference. That's just there to help line up that, which pretty much lines up by itself because of that magnet. So that is removable. So let's just turn him on. We'll slap on the toolbox. Let's screw. There's some tiny screws there on each elbow. This one just needs to be tightened up a little bit. That's why it's a little bit wobbly, which I may do right now, just so I can pose him in a couple of poses. Well, I turn him on and we get a little of Yeti's vocals. So again, we'll turn on his lights and press the sound. He has a pre-programmed vocals that go for about 1:20. We'll just bring him in for a closer look. So you can play around with him. I'm going to use the same resin for the pupils as I did with the Saint. So there's a good example of knocking the hand off. Just clips back on. Having the magnets on the wrists and on the eyebrows and the shoulders, absolute lifesaver. This is completely made out of Monocure's tough grey resin. So it's very durable, but it's not unbreakable. If you were to drop this, like seriously drop this from a good height, it will probably break in a couple of places, maybe the neck and the waist. But as far as it knocking its arms and stuff like that, it does have the articulation point there, and if it keeps going, it'll just come off the magnet. So you won't break as much, but something will break, so just don't drop it. Even when FDM1, you wouldn't drop it anyway, because that would break as well. So that was the vocals. If you just press the button again, he'll go back through the same, just repeat what he just said. So that is the Short Circuit 2 version. Every time I hear that, I can't help myself but to grab that arm and shake it in front of his mouth. It's very much a tempting model to play with, that's for sure. So that is the Short Circuit 2 version and the Short Circuit 1 Saint with the interchangeable head. we'll just turn him off by pressing the button and switching him off.